But it's almost like a good reason to, I think, be more proactive if you find yourself in that situation, because at some point it could be not just you getting hurt.
Oh, absolutely. That's usually the turning point. If that spouse that's been abused over the years has elected not to say anything or report anything, or just decided that that's better, and I understand that that's not an easy thing to do, but once they recognize, you know what, this finally happened to my child, then that's where some of them will then come forward and say, this has got to stop. And I've heard this so many times of, once in a while I'd get hit, or, I would be assaulted, but until I found out that it was happening to my child, I didn't want to report it, but once I found that out, that's it, I had enough. This guy needs to go. And that's where we get involved. So unfortunately they lap together. I was mentioning I shouldn't say the only, but the other most common exception would be, your offender out there who seeks out just children, and he works through a grooming process. Part of that grooming process is he will befriend that mom, and this is just an example, but he'll befriend that mom who's a single mom with children of whatever he prefers, boys or girls, or both. He'll work to befriend her, and then slide in, become part of that family, spend time with the sole purpose of getting at them children. And here's what I kind of like to walk you through a little bit. For example, over the years, it was always the stranger danger, be aware of the guy, and they had the video with the van that rolled up and someone who snatched a child and drove off, But realistically, those are so rare, as compared to what we most always and most commonly see, and that is someone within the family network. If he's good at it, if he grooms that child, he grooms that mom, that family becomes part of it, he can offend that child time and time and time again over the years and continue to have access. The child won't be crying, screaming, because they'll think it's just another day and I get to play with, my uncle so-and-so or my, stepdad or whatever. But you see how, and those are the types of offenders that we see most often.
What signs can somebody look for?
Well, it's kind of a fine line, and some will say, well, Dennis, you're a little bit on the paranoid side. And I guess over the years, maybe I have been.
Because of your line of work, I would expect you to be.
But, someone who comes along and becomes part of your family, the same friendship and the same kind things that they would do for you and for your children, you know what? Some of those same things I would look at and say, gosh, it reeks like he's grooming the child for sexual favor. Well, Dennis, how do you take such a big step to that? Well, you're right, and it's not that easy. I guess for my thought or my advice would be is that they're your children. Be aware of them, and you know this person, but how well do you really know them? Even if you've known them for months or decide, you know what, maybe this is the man I want in my life. If things seem too good, maybe they are. You know what I mean? Just be ever vigilant. And
I think it's important to just have communication with your kids.
For example, one of the crime prevention, or one of the prevention things that we used to teach parents was, of course, be aware of what they're looking at. Occasionally walk in the room, look in that screen, or you want to tell your child that should something be sent to them by email, or even if it's a pop-up, and it's a pornographic picture, you want them to tell you, so you know it, and you can put appropriate blocks in there, or if it's someone emailing, you know who it is, because maybe it's that person that's trying to slide in, into your family and to perpetrate on your children. So, but let me give you this example. So let's say, you're at home with your child, and they say, hey, Dad, come on over here, and you go to the computer, and there they have either a video or a still picture of adult pornography, or even child pornography. Something got sent to them or spammed to them or whatever. And there it is, it's big, it's on the screen, it's right in front. So as a parent, maybe you see yourself doing this. Holy cow, what do I do? Get this thing off. You're hitting buttons, you're turning the screen off.
Right,
you're cranked up.
Out, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh my God, you're hitting buttons. Pretty soon, you're not just talking normal. You're excited, you're yelling. And you may even go as far as say, that's it, no more computer, get away from this thing. Thinking that this computer on the table here is, I don't know, some kind of contagious viral thing, and this pornographic picture might jump up and harm your child. And your child will walk away, but guess what they're thinking? I finally was brave enough to tell Dad that, somebody sent me this picture. He just freaked out. I can't use the computer no more. He was just yelling. He hit all these buttons on here. I don't even know if the computer works anymore. You know what's in that child's mind now? I think it's better maybe if I don't tell Dad anymore.
Because Dad overreacts.
Yeah, and did we realize we even did that? No, but classic example, and I like to use that one as one, but every day in our child's life, those instances come up.
So is there a time when you as a detective or as a cop were in a situation where you were going to lose your cool, but somehow you pulled back and something that was stressful and you managed to restrain yourself because of the difficult things that you encounter on a daily basis?
Oh, you think, like maybe when I'm interviewing offenders, is it?
Sure.
And you know, I'd be sitting at a table like this with them.
Yeah.
And we might be talking for 4, 5, 6 hours. Maybe I'll come the next day, I'll talk to them again. You know, I often, and now this is...
I mean, you hear some things that...
Oh, absolutely. And first of all, when I sit down with them, I don't judge them. I tell them that right up front. And those long conversations we have, the first couple of hours, we're going to talk about them. I want to learn as much as I can about them. And however long it takes. Now, is my goal to learn what really happened? Absolutely. Is it tough for someone as an offender when they sit down? They're going to share with me the deepest, darkest secret ever. I want them to share with me. I've got 48 hours to do it because from time of arrest till they get to the courthouse, I get 48 hours, sometimes less. Okay? If I can get him to confess to me, chances are he will never see daylight again. He's going to be in prison then for the rest of his life. That's what I want to have happen. I don't want him to access any more children. If I climb over the table, choke him out, I just failed those 3 children.
Well, Dennis, you're best of luck to you. There's nothing else that can be said besides that you're also president of the Wisconsin Professional Police Association.
It's kind of hard to make a change. We had a pretty deep conversation there.
You know, it is. How do you make a transition out of something that serious? But
the Wisconsin Professional Police Association. Yes. I'm not sure how I got caught up in that.
Were you the junior officer in the room?
No, not that one. Some of it, you know, it's pride. It's pride in police officers. Pride in who we are, what we stand for. And I became involved in our own local association probably 15 years ago. You know, I was still relatively new yet, and you know, I just wanted to be a part of that, and I wanted to share that pride, and I wanted to share it with others. You know, and it really is tremendous in building a level of professionalism in this career. You know, the years of the big ornery cop that really can't talk much, but he sure knows how to throw people down and handcuff them. Okay, those are long gone. You know, it really is more challenging now than ever, and it's going to stay that way. It's going to continue that way. So if I can work toward bringing this career, this profession, to the next level, I want to be a part of that. Okay. We need that well-rounded. We need him to be smart. We need him or her to have some education. We need them to have some awesome life experience and have the ability to communicate, you know, and really be able to deal with people. I hope I didn't talk too much.
No,
You probably plan on a longer or shorter interview maybe, and I may.
You know, I don't plan this way because you never know, and I really appreciate all the work that you do and all the information that you shared.
I like to talk a lot too, as you can tell.